Hi, I'm Robert, and besides being a photographer, I produce several YouTube channels, one of which is Yoga with Duna. In today's video, I'm going to take you to my garage where we film, show you around, and we're going to perform an upgrade to the studio. Here's my yoga garage studio. The first thing I did was paint the walls. You can see up here, I only painted up towards the top because the rest of the wall doesn't show up in frame. I also added these background elements, just some simple IKEA stuff, something I found at Home Goods. And since this is a garage, I added these baseboards in all around. They're not real baseboards, they're just sheets of wood that Home Depot cut for me, and I screwed them into the wall and painted them. You can see the floor here only covers half of the floor. These are just vinyl stickers. They're real cheap, easy to install. I didn't do a perfect job, but it's good enough for on camera. And I only needed to cover part of the floor because that's the only part that's going to show up in frame. As far as lighting goes, you can see I have 3 lights here, one up top. So this one up top here is screwed into the ceiling and then anchored with a safety rope, just in case it falls. Each of these lights has 5 bulbs in them. They're pretty bright, but not as bright as I would like. You can see the controls. Back here, you can turn off some of the lights or all of the lights or have them on, depending on how much light you need. I have them turned all the way on. Even with all 3 lights on, I still have to shoot at ISO 400. So my settings are 1/60th of a second, ISO 400, and then I'm at f5. So one day I would like to upgrade to a little bit brighter lights so I could shoot down at ISO 100. But I don't really think anybody is going to notice that difference anyways. So I use 2 cameras when I'm shooting. Here's the tripod for the Nikon Z6, my main camera, which I placed right here at the end of the garage, and I have it zoomed in. I use a 24-70 when I'm shooting with that setup. Right now I'm shooting on a 14-30. that I just picked up. It's the new S lens. It's actually the first time I've been using it. I use a second camera, which I stick right about here, so we can get a nice side angle. I don't have a second Nikon for that, so I just use an Osmo Pocket. It looks pretty good, and it works well. The only problem is the colors don't match exactly with the Nikon. So one day I would like to get a second Nikon for the second angle, but it's really not critical, and the money could be spent elsewhere, such as in advertising. Up on the walls, I hung these blankets to try and help with the echo. I used some clamps or some hooks and put them into the wall, and then I used the grommet kit to make loops. And since I had extra blankets, this one's triple thick, and this one covering the door is double thick. And then I have a triple thick blanket set up over here. I was thinking about putting more blankets draped up along the ceiling. The main problem is we're getting reflections from one side wall to the other. And then when she's facing down, we're getting reflections from there off of the ceiling. So if I put some blankets up top, maybe it'll help with the echo a little bit. I really only hear the echo when I'm editing the videos with my headphones on, and nobody's doing yoga videos with their headphones on. The majority of my viewers are on a phone or a tablet anyway, so they don't really have the highest quality audio. And when I'm listening on my nice monitors, On my computer, I don't hear the echo either. It's just in the headphones. So I also have old Dell Ultra Sharp here for monitoring, but I'm not using it at the moment because the cable broke. I was using mini HDMI to HDMI, but those are notoriously weak and ended up snapping off in my camera. And the last thing I have in here is my whole car washing setup. I have my 1 gallon jugs here, my sprayers, pressure washer hose. Here's a custom built cart that my friend made me. The reason we had to custom build it is because we didn't want it to stick out anymore and impede my car coming in. So every time I film, I have to set up the garage a little bit, take out the car, set up the tripods, turn on the lights. I try to make it as automated as possible. So when I'm filming, I have the garage door shut, and you can see there's windows up top here. Well, I usually use these clamps and clamp the extra blankets over the window. But what I want to do is add some insulation over the windows to help block out some of the heat, as well as take out all the ambient light. I don't want any ambient light while I'm filming, so I can have complete control with the lights that I'm using. I tried leaving the windows open, but you would see down here on the floor, as the time went on, you could see the sun going across the ground, and also it would mess up with my white balance. So here's our yoga supplies, mat, strap, blocks. And here's what it looks like when I'm filming. I'll be sitting here at the very edge of the garage. The door is closed, obviously. And I'll set up my table here to put all my audio equipment on. And speaking of audio equipment, we're using a Rode Wireless Go system with a Rode Lav mic and a Rode headset. And I record it into a Zoom H1n. And then I'll sync the audio between the two cameras and the Zoom recorder in post. It's actually way easier than I thought. All you do is highlight and select all of the files. You right click and you can sync everything, and it also makes it into a multi-cam clip, so you can easily edit the two camera angles with the high quality audio. So editing the yoga videos really isn't too bad. You just have to figure out how to do it. But then after that, it's not really an issue. The main problem is just rendering it out. It takes so long. So let's get started on our installation project. I'm going to measure these openings, cut out insulation, and then just place it in. So it's 4 feet. By 21.5. Let's double check this side, make sure it's the same size. Same size, 4 feet by 21.5. Assume these will be the same. These are a little bit smaller this way. So first, let's just cut out some insulation for these top windows so we can block out the light. So I have these random sheets of thin insulation. They'll be good enough to block out the sun and maybe help with the temperature, but probably not. It's already over 100 degrees today. So first off, let's measure out 4 feet. Mark it. And then we'll mark up 21.5 inches. Make a center mark. The third mark. And we'll just cut it out. it out correctly. Looks good. Good fit. So let's just do the same thing for the other side. This sheet is much thinner, so I'm not sure if it's going to be able to stand up on its own, but let's give it a shot. Well, it stays up, but it lets a little bit of light through. Maybe I can cover that up with this sheet. Not really tall enough, but not terrible. Alright, I cut up this second piece. Let's place it over top to kind of help out. So here's the finished result. I think it worked pretty well. Super easy and quick and cheap. Thanks for following along with my first vlog. Please like and subscribe. I'm going to be sharing all of the behind the scenes footage of all of my YouTube businesses. Hopefully one or all of them can be successful, and I'm going to share it all with you. Thanks again.